After the match, the visitors camped out in Northern Territory. Ian Hunter was under constant pressure from Barnes' kicking game, and the southwest back row of Hall, Robinson and Clark were rampant. A short penalty taken by Hill on 25 minutes led to the opening try. When Beal received the ball, there appeared to be no hiding place, but he carved his way through the defence and showed incredible balance. You could now see why he'd been selected for the England Sevens team. On the stroke of half-time, shortly after Grayson had kicked 3 points for the North, there was a scrum 10 metres out. The Northern back division were queuing up to tackle anything that moved. Hill must have sensed this, a quick flick of the wrist, and Simon Morris was away on the blind side and unstoppable from point-blank range. 5 minutes into the second half, and Nigel Heslop came off with concussion to join Dowie Morris, who'd left the field at half-time. The heavy conditions were getting worse, but the men in green were adapting well, with John Hall urging his forwards on to provide good second-phase possession, and Stuart Barnes controlling the pace of the game. It paid off. The Southwest were really charging now, led from the front by Ben Clark. Slick passing, involving all the backs, led to the next try by Morris. He scored it on the hour, and it was in fact Barnes who missed the conversion this time, but 15 points to 3 was a commanding lead. Last week, Paul Grayson kicked Waterloo to victory over Bath. He duplicated his points tally with penalties 2 and 3 to give the North some hope of recovery. 15 points to 9 the score with 15 minutes to go. This gave the North some heart. Wade Dooley and Matt Greenwood were putting in some sterling work up front, and the North finally cut loose with the crowd urging their backs to let Rory Underwood be given some space. He got it, but John Webb covered quickly and tackled well enough to bring the North's best chance of a complete recovery to a halt. 8 minutes to go now, and the North had really run out of steam. The Southwest were taking not only the initiative, but full revenge for their club's performance in recent cup games. Beal suddenly found himself at scrum half. He fed Barnes, and the backs were flowing again, this time joined by the England fullback. He timed his pass perfectly to send Morris away yet again. A hat-trick of tries on a day when wingers might not have expected such freedom or possession. John Webb had now blown away the cobwebs of the first half and found his kicking boots. His first success in 5 attempts to extend the lead to 22 points to 9. Simon Morris of Gloucester was not finished yet. Given a glimpse of daylight, he pinned his ears back and went for his 4th try. Then suddenly, Ian Hunter climaxed a fine individual performance with a crunching tackle, which left spectators gasping and proclaiming they'd found the new JPR. Defence was the only thing on the North's agenda with only 2 minutes of the game left. John Webb recovered this ball and was about to launch another attack when he let loose one of the longest passes of the game. That went to de Glanville. He fed Beal, and Underwood covering was left flat-footed. Beal wasn't going to let Morris have all the fun. He went through the defence once more with a jinking run. Wingers 5, the rest 0. Morris and Beal had a superb day. Webb's conversion, the last score of the game, didn't just mean 2 more points. It meant the end of an era. The Southwest's first victory against the North in 8 attempts. After that convincing scoreline, what did the debutant winger think about the occasion?
Nice to play against Rory. Very wet, boggy conditions obviously didn't help in defence. Exploited that. Good game, enjoyed it.
What do you think the difference is between divisional rugby and club rugby? Any difference?
I'd expect up front, close in, it was obviously a lot quicker game. Out on the wing, bit more chasing back, but not too different, no.
Simon, well done. A hat-trick of tries today. And really, I mean, it wasn't a day for wingers, but the two of you put 5 together. It was a good day for you.
As Nick has already said, yeah, he's very heavy underfoot, but more so in the middle than out on the wings. It was a bit more steady under feet on the wings, but the backs inside us, giving us good ball, did help quite a bit.
Stuart Barnes' play was occasionally brilliant. As captain, he was under no illusion as to his team's task.
There were some frank words in the dressing room beforehand, and we said we've got to come off and look each player eye to eye, and we did that and performed as a team for the first time in the divisional championship for a long time, I think.
What about the conditions out there? They were very difficult for kicking and really to get the backs moving, weren't they?
Yeah, it was very, very heavy underfoot. But having said that, you know, we scored 5 tries from our wings and put some nice moves together. And I thought both teams were quite ambitious. And I thought, considering the conditions, it was a good example of the fact you can actually run no matter what.
A quick word of praise, perhaps, for Nick Beal and Simon Morris. They had a good game.
Yeah, delighted. I think perhaps they were a little bit apprehensive being the only